The encounter that changed everything. Imagine walking under the scorching midday sun, your feet burning on the hot, dusty ground. You're exhausted, carrying the weight of a life filled with shame, rejection, and brokenness. You avoid people, afraid of their whispers and judgment. But today is different. Today, a stranger sits by the well you always visit alone. He isn't from your town. He shouldn't even be speaking to you. And yet, he does. Not just speaking. He knows things about you that no one else does. This encounter will change everything. It will rewrite your story and echo through generations. But who is this man? What did he say that was so powerful? And most importantly, what does this story mean for you today? Stay with me until the end of this video, because this could be the most important message you will ever hear. A divided world. To fully understand the shocking nature of this encounter, we need to step back in time. The event takes place in ancient Israel during the ministry of Jesus Christ. At this time, Jews and Samaritans despised each other. Their conflict wasn't just personal, it was deeply historical and religious. The Jews saw the Samaritans as impure. Hundreds of years earlier, during the Assyrian conquest, Israelites from the northern kingdom intermarried with foreign nations. To the Jews, these mixed descendants were no longer true Israelites. Samaritans, on the other hand, held on to their own version of faith, believing that Mount Gerizim, not the Jewish temple in Jerusalem, was the true place of worship. This division ran so deep that Jews avoided Samaria altogether, even if it meant taking a much longer route. But Jesus chose to go through Samaria. That one decision already tells us something profound. Jesus wasn't interested in avoiding people based on society's standards. He came to break barriers and offer something far greater than tradition or prejudice. And so, under the relentless midday sun, he sat by a well, waiting for her. The well, a symbol of brokenness and need. Now let's talk about this well. This wasn't just any well, it was Jacob's well, an ancient and sacred place. It had provided water for generations, and yet, the woman who approached it that day was thirsty for more than just water. She arrived alone. That was already unusual. Women came to draw water in the early morning or late afternoon, always in groups. It was a social event, a time to talk, laugh, and share news. But this woman? She came at noon, the hottest, most uncomfortable time of day. Why? Because she didn't want to be seen. She carried a reputation. She had been whispered about, judged, and pushed aside. But on this day, her world was about to change. The conversation, a shocking request. She walks up to the well, careful to avoid eye contact. But then, he speaks. "Give me a drink." John 4:7. She freezes. A Jewish man is talking to her. A Samaritan woman, a person he should have ignored. Her mind races. What is happening? Why is he speaking to me? She responds, still in shock. How is it that you, a Jew, ask for a drink from me, a Samaritan woman? John 4:9. Jesus looks at her, not with judgment, but with compassion. And then he says something mysterious. If you knew the gift of God, and who it is that is saying to you, "Give me a drink," you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water. John 4:10. Living water? She frowns. What is he talking about? Water is water. It comes from the well. It has to be drawn, carried, stored. There's no such thing as living water. She responds, skeptical. "Sir, you have nothing to draw water with and the well is deep. Where do you get that living water?" John 4:11. She doesn't realize it yet, but she is on the verge of discovering something life-changing. Jesus reveals her deepest secret. Jesus doesn't argue. He doesn't try to convince her with theology. Instead, he makes a promise. Everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty forever. John 4:13-14. She still doesn't fully understand. But her curiosity is growing, so she says, "Sir, give me this water, so that I will not be thirsty or have to come here to draw water." John 4:15. And then, Jesus does something unexpected. "Go, call your husband and come here." John 4:16. Her heart stops. She wasn't expecting that. She lowers her eyes and murmurs, "I have no husband." Jesus nods and says, "You are right in saying, 'I have no husband,' for you have had 5 husbands, and the one you now have is not your husband." John 4:17-18. Her breath catches. How does he know that? No one was supposed to know. And yet, he knows. But he isn't condemning her. He isn't looking at her with disgust. He sees her pain, her loneliness, her longing for something real. The revelation, the Messiah, has come. Trying to change the subject, she asks about worship. Where is the right place to worship? The temple in Jerusalem or Mount Gerizim? Jesus replies with one of the most profound statements in history. The hour is coming and is now here, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. John 4:23. In other words, it's not about the place, it's about the heart. She is stunned, and then she says, "I know that Messiah is coming. When he comes, he will tell us all things." And Jesus looks at her and declares, "I who speak to you am he." John 4:26. Time stops. Her entire world changes in an instant. The Messiah, the one they had been waiting for, and he is standing right in front of her. Transformation. The woman who changed a city. She drops her water jar and runs back to town. The same woman who had avoided people now speaks boldly. "Come, see a man who told me all that I ever did. Can this be the Christ?" John 4:29. Because of her testimony, many Samaritans believed in Jesus. Her story, her pain, became her greatest testimony. The message for you. Jesus knows everything about you, your struggles, your failures, your past. And yet, he offers you living water, a new life, a fresh start, true satisfaction. The question is, have you accepted it? If this story touched you, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to watch our next video, where we'll talk about another life-changing encounter with Jesus. See you there.